Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here by myself. I think Donovan may try to join us. Of course, he's still in Sasua. I just spoke to him a moment ago, so he said he's going to try to log on, although he's been having some internet connection issues because, the hotel he's staying at, the internet is not so good. And of course, you guys have seen him on here, and he's tried to come on here, but it doesn't stick for whatever reason. So if he doesn't join us, it'll just be me and you. So anyway, I'd like to say hello and big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are participants and you are family. Sometimes we share the link so that you can come on and speak your opinion. If I do that tonight, all I ask is that you show me your face so that I can make sure, it's no shenanigans. Of course, if I have not seen you on here before. Also like to say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Hello, Troy, Freddie B, how you doing? And J Bubba, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to talk about Representative Jasmine Crockett out of Dallas. Of course, you guys, I'm going to show y'all a video. It's going to be more the sound than anything. She was on the Breakfast Club, I think it was yesterday. And, she spoke out about a lot of things in regards to politics. She had a lot of spicy things to say about the Republicans. And she also said that she is riding with Biden, and she's going to give a little bit of an explanation as to why. Of course, a lot of, and she's Black, by the way, if you haven't already seen the thumbnail. Hello, Stephen, how you doing? A lot of our Black politicians, they like to try to keep us on board, if you will, voting for the Democrats. Hello, Beach Material, hope all is well. Try to keep us on board with voting with the Democratic Party. Now, of course, you guys might have seen her a couple of months ago when they were having a Senate hearing, or I guess the congressional hearings or whatever it was, House. I think it was the House hearings when they were talking about Hunter Biden. Y'all know all the stuff that he's accused of doing. And she was one of the people who was, very outspoken, and she's, defending Biden and talking about how much he loves his son, and, basically saying that it was a Republican witch hunt. But for what we know now, sounds like Hunter Biden is really looking at, facing the music in regards to a lot of the stuff that he has done. But again, she is, in my opinion, one of those political pundits that are going to continue to try to shame Black people into voting for more of nothing. So I'll show y'all the video in just a second. Hello, Black America. Where you been? People been asking about you. Steven says, yeah, she was working hard for them biscuits. Yeah, so you remember Sergeant Slaughter, how you doing? Slaughter, how you doing? So yeah, y'all seen the video of her doing that. So I'm going to show y'all a video in just a second. Who was on here? African Violet, how are you doing? I hope all is well. And, it's going to get worse. When I say when it's going to get worse, of course, you guys know that the election is coming up next year, 2024. And y'all think they're putting the pressure on Black people now. Y'all just wait for it. Y'all ain't going to be able to escape it at all. Like I said last week, on my phone, I'll get a text every once in a while, I guess from a Democratic organization, and they want to know if I'm voting for Biden. And if I don't respond, they say, well, no response means that you're not voting for Biden. And so I just don't respond. It's like, okay. And Kenyon, how you doing? Blessings to you as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and play this video again. Donovan might try to join us, but again, he's in the DR, Dominican Republic, Sasua to be exact. And so internet is not that good there. So he hasn't had a good, luck trying to come on here, which is why we haven't done our podcast, because it's just almost impossible to do it that way. Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? Okay, so let me show y'all this video again. Representative Jasmine Crockett of Dallas. She visited the Breakfast Club recently, and she had a whole lot to say. And this is a part of what she said. You'll only hear the audio, for obvious reasons. It's not my material, but I'm going to invoke the fair use, thing or whatever. But here it goes.
Listen, I'm riding with Biden. That's we have no other option. We have no other option.
If Trump wasn't running, would you be riding with Biden? Or would you be calling for Biden to step aside?
I wouldn't be calling for him to step aside, only because literally this guy has a great track record. Again, who's looking at fixing the water in Flint?
Kenny Wayno. I agree with you. The track record is there, but can he win? Can he win next year in a general election? Can Biden and Harris win? Are they still a winnable ticket?
I think they are. I think they are. I think that we got a lot of work to do. And I think that, we tripping if we feel like we got this thing in the bag. I don't think we should ever underestimate the power of Trump and his cult. We should never do that, right? And I also think that it's important for people that have historically felt like they were left out, ignored, or just taken for granted. I think it's important that we have the conversations with those communities and tell them that, no, we are fighting for you. Like I just said, most people don't know $6 a day and the Republicans trying to snatch it.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. No, we can do this. Don't do this to us, right? Or the fact that you want to make sure that housing vouchers aren't available when we're dealing with a housing crisis in this entire country. No, we are trying to fight for these things. And listen, if you let them in power, you may not have a roof over your head, for sure. You may not have food in your belly, for sure. So, we are fighting for these things, and it is a team effort. I think that what we do is we give too much power to the president.
Okay, so I'm going to remove her. So again, I see a couple of people saying, who is she? So again, she is a representative out of Dallas, representing Dallas, I guess we could say. Jasmine Crockett. And so again, she was at the Breakfast Club, I think it was yesterday, and she was, just having a conversation about politics. And the, Democratic Party says she's riding with Biden because prior to that, Charlemagne had asked her, do you guys think you guys being a Democrat, you're making a mistake like you did with RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the Supreme Court justice that died on the seat, and, they didn't replace her, I guess, in time, or she didn't retire. And then, of course, Trump was able to fill that seat or whatever the case is. And so then she goes, no, I don't think we're making a mistake. I'm riding with Biden. She says that he has a great track record. But then you ask yourself, a great track record with who, right? Does she have a great track record with us? I mean, him? No, he doesn't have a great track record with us. She'd also brought up the situation. And if y'all notice, she said, we're working on it. We're fixing a lot to everything she said, right? She brought up Flint, said, we're working on it. And so I was like, okay, what's going on in Flint? They said the water has improved, but it doesn't sound like they can really drink it all like that. So they say it's below federal levels. So it's improved, but it doesn't sound like it's, that safe or whatever, right? So they're working on it. Now, they've been working on it for how long? Years, right? Well, since the Obama administration. Y'all remember when Obama went and he turned the cup of water up to his mouth and he drank it, said, see, I'll drink it. It's like, come on, man, who you think you're fooling? You know what I mean? So she brought up Flint. It's like, doesn't sound like they really fixed that, but they're working on it. Just wait for it. The other thing that I noticed too, and I've been noticing this a lot, and I spoke about this the other day. They keep saying Biden and Kamala. Biden and Kamala. Why do y'all think they're doing that? Because God forbid something happened to Biden, there's going to be Kamala. She's the vice president, and she's going to step up to the plate, and she's going to, be the president. So they keep marrying them two together, but I can't, in, the times that I can remember as far as presidencies, remember them always talking about the president and the vice president as though it was one office, right? Okay. So, of course, she said they can win. Now, unless you live under a rock and you don't have TV, I don't have TV, but I do read and stuff. They said that if the election was held today, that Biden would not win. They said, in fact, in 2020, about 8% of Black voters voted for Trump, right? But they said if it was held today, it'd be like 22 to 26% of Black voters would actually vote for Trump. So, and even in the national polls, not just outside of Black people, Biden would not win. They said Trump would mollywop him if the election were today. Okay, so she's trying to tell us that, oh yeah, he could win. She also brought up Trump and his cult following. You notice too how the Democrats always bring up Trump. They never really talk about the issues we want to talk about, right? What do we want to talk about? We want to talk about the migrants. That's a hot ticket item. Of course, reparations. We always want to talk about that. But they never really want to just give that a full conversation. Like, they're moving all the migrants into the Black neighborhoods, giving them all the resources and leaving, Black people with more of nothing, right? but they always want to talk about Trump. Like you can say, well, hey, what about reparations? Oh, well, you know, Trump and them. No, let's not talk about Trump and them. Let's talk about reparations, right? As far as I know, I don't know. I haven't heard her talk about reparations. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. Maybe she has. I don't know. Let's see here. She says, we also want to focus on the people that have been left out. Now, what people exactly is she talking about? She ain't talking about no migrants. They haven't been left out. She ain't talking about, you know, the LGBT community or, you know, the foreigners, the Afghans, Ukrainians, or any of those people. They haven't been left out. The Asians haven't been left out. So who is she talking about, really? She ain't talking about us. We know she's not talking about us, because if she was, she would have said Black people have been left out. And no one else has been left out but Black people, right? So she's fighting for us. They're going to be fighting for us. It's like, stop lying. You guys always say you're going to fight for Black people, and you never do. The last time we really heard that and really heard it spoken out loud was when Joe Biden stood up there the night he was elected and lied and says, Black people, you stood by me, or you've had my back, or whatever. Now I'm going to have your back. And that's the last full-throated, like, I'm really going to do something for you that Black people have heard. Now, we knew it was a lie when it came out of his mouth, right? But nevertheless, he said it. So I don't know, you know, who these left out people she's talking about, who they're fighting for. She also talked about the $6 a day, right? So some of y'all probably wonder, well, what's the $6 a day she's talking about? So within that interview, she also talked about how the Republicans are wanting to, you know, cut off food stamps and housing vouchers and all that kind of stuff. And so she's asked Charlemagne and, you know, Envy, how much do you guys think that the average American who's receiving food stamps or SNAP benefits, how much do you think they're receiving? And somebody said, like, I don't know, $300. And she goes, you know, well, it boils down to $6 a day, which is not much, right? I guess, I don't know, depending on who you ask. So she basically is saying that they're going to take away these vouchers and these food stamps and stuff like that. And it's like, well, if you're talking about Black people, is that all we worth? You know, as Bismarcky or somebody said, what Bismarcky, a wet food stamp, you know, is that all we worth? Is a wet food stamp? That's all they talk about giving us, right? When I say they, I'm talking about the Democrats, that carrot on the string. Give them some food stamps, because when you're giving food stamps and you're giving vouchers and, you know, all the other stuff that really just keep you on the precipice of being extremely poor and broke, that keeps you dependent. So they make us think, oh, well, the Republicans are going to take away your dependency, right? Well, if she was really gangster, if she was really wanting to help Black people, or any of her homies up in Washington want to help Black people, they would say, give them reparations. That way they don't need food stamps. They don't need housing. They don't need all the other stuff that we would give them, right? They can be self-sufficient, build their own businesses, schools, hospitals, and do all that other stuff. But see, they don't want to do that. But she talks about these scare tactics. And I'm like, everything from that little clip that y'all saw, most of the stuff she said was scare tactics. All your food stamps, your vouchers, you this, you that. They taking all this away from you. So therefore, you got to continue to vote for more of nothing. And as far as I understand, from what I looked, only about 27% of Black people in America are getting, any assistance. Contrary to popular belief that most Black people are on some sort of welfare, is not true. So what about the rest of us? What do we get? Those of us who don't qualify for that stuff, right? And so also, she says, we give too much power to the president. And, also in the other interview that I did not show you, she talked about, oh, he can't do everything by himself. You got to remember there's Congress and all this other stuff. Well, I took it upon myself and I looked, how many executive orders have Joe Biden done in the 3 years that he's been in office? Joe Biden has done 126 executive orders, okay? 126, and let me see here. 126, and I looked at most of them, and none of them specifically said anything about Black people. There was like one or two that said Black and brown, some want, right? But everything else was very specific. So when she says that he can't do anything specifically, or he can't do anything by himself, it's a lie. He's got the mighty pen. He's got the mighty pen. He can do an executive order like he's done with everything else. But see, when it comes to us, they sell us that. because we've heard that a lot, even, and I've been guilty of saying it even back in the day, with presidents, or, they can't do, it's Congress that's blocking them, right? But then when you kind of get educated, you're like, well, he can do executive orders. They do them all the time. But when it comes to us, they try to give us this whole, civics lesson. You guys don't know anything about civics. You guys need to know, they tell you that. So because it's like to throw you off from really asking for, hey, President Biden, can you pick up your handy dandy pen, your mighty Bic? I said Bic with a B. Can you pick that up and go ahead and sign something into law specifically for Black people? But we've heard Joe and Kamala say no. We're not helping Black people specifically. They've said that. It wasn't did they kind of say it? They said it. They said it out their mouth. Y'all heard infamously, Kamala, no, I'm not going to do nothing just for Black people now. Okay? That's what she said. Joe Biden, in an interview, he said, I'll be damned if I'm made to be be responsible or feel responsible for what my ancestor did 300 years ago. No, I'm not getting. We're not giving Black people reparations. But of course, y'all see all the stuff that's going on. I'm gonna get to y'all comments in just a second. We see all the stuff that's going on. There's billions of billions and billions of dollars. Matter of fact, they talking about it right now before they go on recess, right? They have this 2 to 3 week recess in Congress during the holiday season. They got to try to decide something. I think it's by Friday of how much they're going to continue to, because they already going to give Israel some more money, but Ukraine, because y'all know Vladimir Zelensky was here asking for more money. And he kind of feels like, well, y'all forgetting about me because of the other stuff that's going on right in the Middle East. Y'all forgetting about me. So I need y'all help. I need to make sure that you guys are still on board with helping me. And they told him, okay, yeah, we still on board. So now they got to decide how much more money they're going to give Ukraine and stuff. But, when it comes to us, I ain't going to do nothing just for you. No. But we as Black people, we pay taxes here, right? We pay taxes. So they're sending our money to help everybody else. And they're telling us no. And even outside of the Black community, I saw this white lady. She made it a hell of a point. She says, let me get this straight. She said they're sending all this money to everybody else that get in their countries. The healthcare is free. The education is free. She says, but over here, education ain't free. Healthcare ain't free. But yet they're taking our tax dollars and they sending them to other countries. And then they won't forgive student loan debt, or universal health care and none of that. They won't. No, everybody, doesn't get health care for here for free, but we got to help pay for everybody else's stuff who's already benefiting. But yet we get told no. So I don't know what this Jasmine is talking about. But the great thing about all of this is Black people are truly waking up. And we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe anymore of, oh, well, he just can't do anything. And he's the president of everybody. He's not just the president. We ain't falling for that stuff no more because we see all the money flying out the country to go help everybody else. And even the money that's here in the country that's helping the migrants in Chicago, New York, and, everywhere else. They're getting a lot of stuff. Of course, like in Chicago, as I said, they're thinking about where to put this $65 million tent that they want to build for the migrants. Is a big, giant weatherized tent that they want to build for them so that they don't have to endure the cold. But forget the Chicagoans that have to endure it, every year up to this point. So anyway, I'm going to get to you guys' comments. See what y'all got to say. And welcome to everybody who's come on here. All right, so let's see who came on. Okay, so y'all see y'all was responding to the video. Hey, average logical thinker, how you doing? And Jay Bubba, you say she is shilling. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. They get out there, they get their marching orders, and they, try to. Of course, they go to the Breakfast Club because they got millions of followers. They know a lot of people watch, so they get on there. That's where Joe Biden told Black people, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. And Charlemagne sat there and was like, Okay. So of course she's shilling. And you also say, no, they're not. And Trinity, how you doing? African Violet says, what track record? Right. But see, they know that there's people out there, let's call it what it is, like your Rollins and stuff. They'll, tout all this stuff for the infrastructure, blah, 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 just the judges and but they don't specifically speak to Black people. So that's the track record she's talking about, Steven says she's scared to say Black. Yeah, she's not going to say that because for a long time they've been catering to the migrants. Yeah, there's some Black migrants, but most of them are not Black. So they've been catering to them, but they're starting to see the writing on the wall that Black people are like, we just not going to show up. Said, I'll sit home on election day. And, Sheila Jackson Lee here in Houston was, I think, the beginning of the end for a lot of them. It really was. Because, I think she was really shocked the first time out because, it was a runoff that she didn't win. So, during the runoff, she thought she'd give it all she got. And then she would get in there. But, he rope-a-doped her is what he did. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that because, Black people are fatigued too. We're fatigued of getting nothing, but getting the worst of everything. So Steven says, yeah. And then Black America says, oh, okay, I read that already. Jay the Dancer, how are you doing today? And African Violet said, vote her out. Yeah, that would be for the people in Dallas to pay attention. But see, she's Sister Girl. Y'all know who Sister Girl. She, Sapphire. She out there talking, walking tall and talking tough to people. And, y'all just don't understand. We like all that stuff because Maxine Waters and all them, I'm reclaiming my time. And Black people ran around talking about, ooh, we're reclaiming our time. It's like, well, when is she going to be done reclaiming her time and actually get to work? So they know we like that, those little sound bites and, Sister Girl going off on Congress and sticking it to the Republicans. They know we like all that nothingness, And Jay Bubba says, I will be sure to make sure on first day of early voting in Texas, I will now vote for Biden. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of people. Steven says she's trying to talk Black. Jay Bubba says she is doing Democratic scare tactics. Soon she will say Trump will have us picking cotton. Yeah, they gonna get to that when it gets close to the election, when they see Black people are not going to be moved this time. I mean, how do you continue to thumb your nose at the group of voters that make everything possible for you? How do you do that and then expect for them to continue to show up for you? I mean, it's going to get old after a while, Black America says that the Republicans are going to kick people with Section 8 out of their house, they have my vote. So I don't think it's that. I don't think they're going to kick people out. I think there might be, and I don't know, I'm just from what she's saying, there's probably going to be some streamlining. I mean, my God, you got people who've been on Section 8 for a very long time. See, if I was at the helm, of course, I would have all those programs for people who need them, but you for sure ain't going to be making it a lifestyle. I would have it to where you get the help, the TANFs, the SNAPs, and the housing and all that other stuff, but you get it for a certain amount of time in addition to, in a lot of states, they do it. I don't know if they still do well, but you can go to school for free. You get, free books, and they'll pay for childcare. You get clothing, and they'll do all that kind of stuff. Now I need you to get up off on your feet. And then if you can't do that in 2 to 3 years or however long, let's say 4, because you can get a degree, right, in 4 years. If you don't do it in 4 years, then you got to get it out the mud on your own. You cut off, right? That's what I would do, So, yeah. African Violet says, Sister Demetra, I got cussed out and called every name but a child of God. It's working. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people who going to cling on to the Democratic Party's talking points of, if we don't continue to vote for them, then some esoteric boogeyman is going to come and harm us. It's like, harm us worse than we've been harmed already. Like what could they do worse to us that's already not being done to us? See, they never want to answer that question because nothing is worse than neglecting the group of voters who have helped you. That, to me, that's worse. And then, have y'all ever loaned money to somebody? And then let's say you guys went out, I don't know, shopping or something like that, or they just, y'all hanging out. And they spending all this money. They're buying themselves stuff. And you're thinking, now I know I loaned you some money. Is you going to pay that back? But they don't. They just like, I'm buying me stuff. They don't even think about paying you back. To me, that's what the Democratic Party is doing to Black people. They spending all this money in our face, knowing they owe us, right? Not even just the Democrats, but the Republicans too. But the Democrats is who benefits from us. They know they owe us, but they spending all this money in our face. And like, what? What you mad about? Well, you owe us some money, and a whole lot of other things. And J Bubba says they're always working on it when it comes to us, but everyone else gets a done deal. Yeah, and also I was thinking about when I was watching her and I was looking at the bills that are the executive orders that he did, and I thought about it. I said, okay. And she says, well, we're fighting, for people who have been left out. I'm like, but you're not fighting for reparations. He didn't do an executive order for that. He didn't do a hate crime bill. He didn't do one to end mass incarceration for Black people because predominantly we are in those jails, in prisons. They didn't do an executive order to give us land and stop the land grab that's going on even to this day of Black people. They ain't do none of that stuff. So, African Violet, you say, is she going to do anything? No, she just going to, be out there on the front line shaming Black people into voting for more of nothing. She's from that class. I guess y'all could say the Boule class of we're smarter than y'all. We know more than y'all. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Y'all need to listen to us. That's who she represents. And Bubba, you say Biden is trying to give $61 billion to Ukraine. They still working on us. You say us? Yeah, I know they're still trying to give them more money because they got a war going on against Russia, right? So, Jesse, how you doing? It says Black First Foundation of Black America, Denver, Colorado. # Frontline Black News. All right, now how you doing? By the way, J Bubba says Biden is trying to. Okay, so I saw that. Your average logical thinker. So you're replying to somebody. And hey, Nikki Red, how you doing? And Daryl, what's going on with you? Grand rising to you as well. It is my pleasure. Somebody spam calling me. And Alicia, how you doing? Says she's a shield for Eddie B. Johnson. She has been groomed to lie for the white man. Okay, got it. So now we get a little bit more information about her. Trinity Love, you say nothing for African Americans. $9,000. Yep. For the migrants in some places, right? And Elder Dwayne, how you doing? Says she can run with Biden alone. Right. And Steven says, no, you're late to message board. She was saying for sure it gets on my nerves when people do that. Okay. And Alicia says she is an embarrassment. Anyone that EBJ handpicked cannot be good. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know a bunch about him at all, but I guess I have to look into him. The average logical thinker says, every time I think about the effect of Katrina and Flint water crisis, I get mad every time while we give money to Ukraine. Zelensky was just begging again. Yep, the other day. Yeah, sure was. But they're fixing the water situation in Flint. We're working on it. But as I said, I looked and it doesn't seem like it's really that drinkable at all. They said it's improving. It's like, well, what's like, just fix it, but there's all this nonsense. Sagittarius got it. She say right. And let me skip down a little bit. And Alicia says pretty sure she got one of those EBJ stolen scholarship money. Okay, yeah, I got to look into that. GA, how you doing? Yep, the Dixiecrats, exactly what they are. Trinity says she is an agent. Tether. Oh Lord, y'all know I don't like that word tether. I don't know what she is, but she's sitting in Congress, so she's an American citizen to some degree, right? If she wasn't, I could not be sitting there. And let's see here. African Violet says, I thought, remember when Trump did a number of executive orders in the first few months, and I started looking at Obama sideways. Yeah, they said actually Obama, and it's one of the Bushes, I think, did the least executive orders of presidents. So, yeah. Iron Will, how you doing? If I didn't already, you say it's always complicated, quote unquote, when we don't understand how politics work when it comes to Black Americans, right? We need a civics lesson because we don't understand, right? But what it is like, well, y'all, bucking what we're saying, so now y'all don't understand all of a sudden, and one of the biggest threats to them is when we start reading. When we start reading and we start, learning and investigating and researching for ourselves, that's when it becomes a problem. Yes, indeed. Trinity says, but not Native African Americans. Okay. And Michael, how you doing? He says, America is going broke by spending so much money overseas and people don't pay taxes at all. Yeah. And Sagittarius Guidance says, if it was more like F Black people, but they just said it in another way. Yeah. And now they're not even saying that. They're just not doing or mentioning us at all. It's about everybody else. And so they can see now that we're not putting up with it anymore. Yeah, there's still quite a few black voters who are like, I don't care. I'm voting blue no matter who. But it just needs to be, enough of us to say, I'm voting for something else, or I'm just, probably going to stay home and watch TV that day or whatever it is you decide. A lot of black people are like, no, I'm done being kicked in the behind by you people that we continue to put in office, and you guys just do nothing. You know what I mean? So, and Sagittarius goddess, you say, oh no, I read that already. And Yaril, how you doing? You say joke. Okay. And Rainey, what's going on with you? You said it's the Ultima. And Iron Williams says Zelensky is getting the most handouts. He literally got more money in aid and then all black organizations combined. Oh yeah. He comes over here whenever he needs to, right? Hey, I need some more money. GA says we're the only ethnicity that don't get it. Yes, indeed. And Beats by Dizzy, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, what have they done for us? Well, we want to know as well, right? And Beach Material, you say, sadly, I know a few black folks that still will vote Democrat, and they have the nerve to get an attitude with you if you try and educate them. Laugh out loud, I'm done. Oh, yeah, because they don't want to be convinced of anything otherwise. They have been told that the Democrat is the party of the people. It's the party for black people, and the Republicans are this, that, and the other, which they are, but the Democrats and Republicans, they're the same. They're not, one is not better than the other when it comes to black people, but they pretend to be, right? But the Democrats, they just feel like, well, we got black people on board. We don't have to say anything else. They're just going to vote for us no matter what we do or do not do to or for them. They're just going to show up to vote because that's just how loyal they are to us. So again, we have rearranged their understanding. They better come talking about something we want to hear. Otherwise, we are going to probably, I know that I will elect to sit on the couch on election day. And some people said they're going to vote for Trump. Like the people in Chicago, they're like Trump 2024. And they're unapologetic about it. Now, those are a group of people who traditionally vote Democrat, but they see now what happens when they vote Democrat or for somebody just because they're black. They get passed over. And Jesse Paris, how you doing? Says a hashtag tangibles or no vote 2024. Yep. Michael, you say America is a sad country. Yeah. And Rainey said it's the ultimate disrespect. Okay, so that's what you meant to say. Oh, absolutely. And Steven says Roland Martin won't discuss Chicago. But I want somebody really to ask him why. Why won't you discuss Chicago? There's black people there. They're getting passed over and, getting disrespected. And you don't want to talk about them. Why not? Because see, then if Roland talks about Chicago in the way that it should be talked about, then he's going to be forced to tell the truth. And telling the truth is not beneficial for him. Because when he tells the truth, then he also has to open up the eyes of the people who watch him to the neglect that the Democratic Party has been participating in regarding black people. So he's probably not going to touch upon it too much. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? And African Violet says some people will not unplug from the Matrix. Nope. And honestly, a lot of people just don't know how. It's just, what they're used to doing. OG, how you doing? And Steven says Charlemagne is a puppet too. Yeah, I think a lot of people have come to that conclusion. Brother Samuel, how you doing this fine evening? And GA says, okay, so you're replying to somebody. Carla Brown, how you doing? She says she's sick in the head. You talking about Jasmine? Well, I just think she's doing what they put her out there to do. Like I said, she real snappy and spicy. She gonna get everybody together and and all that other. It's like we've seen that before. Go somewhere. That doesn't do anything to us anymore. Trinity says so-called Native Americans do not pay taxes as they are on their own sovereign land. Is that what you meant to say? Okay, yeah. And Michael says immigrants and migrants get buffets and Americans get leftover. Buffets rather. I'm sorry. Buffets and Americans get leftover food that is about to rot. If that, right? And your average logical thinker says, I'm just waiting for a black politician to say, I'm standing on business. You better quit. Always coming, because they know all the catchphrases we like. And Brother Samuel says voting is indeed an exercise in futility. It says especially in these national elections and can be proven in no limit of time. Absolutely. Jay Bubba, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. You say, Roland was just on Twitter trying to use this woman's talking point into shaming us to vote for Biden, and we gave Roland that work. He got all sassy, and of course he was cussing because that's all he knows how to do. That's all he knows how to do is cuss people out, especially people who are like, nah, buddy, nah, we ain't going for it no more. We're not going for the okie doke. And he's mad because Black people are waking up and starting to think. Roland is only getting by with the people who aren't thinking for themselves. For the people who tune in every night to listen to him, cuss everybody out who's not on board. It's entertainment at this point. But, Miss Crockett, she didn't say nothing. All she did was more of what he is doing, lying, but won't ever just really give us specifics of what has been done for Black people in America. They won't do it because they'll be forced to tell the truth. That's how it is. Black America said the president can't just do things for Black people. We are America's first. Yeah, so they can just do things for Black people because they do things just for everybody else. They can. If you go and look on the executive orders that he's written and a lot of other people, they could do stuff specifically for everybody else. What do you call the Asian Americans? The hate crime bill that they got, that was specifically for them. So, but when it comes to us, we have to understand, what you need to understand is they can't just do anything for Black people because he's the president of everybody. But then everybody else is like, well, yeah, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that. But when it comes to us, we got to get these civic lessons and y'all need to understand all that other stuff. Buckhorse, how you doing? Hope you are well. And Bobby, what's going on with you? Says Mr. Demetri K is on. What's up, my beautiful sister? Everything and nothing all at the same time. I hope you're well. William, how you doing? You say they can't and won't answer. Nah, but we're going to make them answer. We're going to make them answer one way or the other. And the Black Americans, no, I'm sorry, Buckhorse, you're talking to Black America. And Tanaya, how you doing? He says, hey, Demetri, didn't she embarrass herself on the Breakfast Club? Every time I hear them, I get a stomach ache. Yeah, but that's where they go. They go to places like the Breakfast Club who will let them, spew all the nonsense and try to dupe Black people and shame Black people. That's where they go to do all of that, But again, there's enough Black people who are like, I'm sorry. And it's not just, the younger Black people or, older. It's a lot, right? Because there's a lot of baby boomers, I would imagine, in Chicago that we see a lot that are waking up and like, no, we ain't doing it no more. So good for them. Only Pamela's Way, how you doing? And Trinity say, not Native Americans, as they do not pay taxes there of their own sovereign lands, yet they're given money. All money should be given to African American, not illegally allowed. Okay. Tanaya says executive order means nothing if it's not signed into law. The next president can, moving right along, so can exit out, moving. I think that's what you meant, moving right along. Yeah, but he's president now. So if he was the write an executive order for reparations, we've been uncashed that check. By the time the next president come in, what you gonna do? Take it back from us? As the old people used to say, you can't get blood from a turnip. So I mean, of course, things could be overturned, this, that, and the other. Of course, y'all know they tried to do that with Obamacare. They weren't successful or anything like that. But yeah, something like a reparations check. Yeah, we've been already cashed that. So, and Vanjie, how you doing today? And Buckhorse, she says no anti-Black hate crime bill, no vote. Yeah, where is our protection? And Jesse say, hey, Sister Demetri, greetings. Love your content and stories. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And your average logical thinker says $9,000 for immigrants. Seriously, yeah. In some cases, $9,000. Sometimes some of them, I think it said the Ukrainians. Some of them are here. They're getting Social Security benefits. The Afghans, some of the migrants are getting money. Of course, we know they're getting housing and other resources. And some of them are even being fast-tracked to some sort of citizenship to where the people the immigrants who are here and that's waiting to get citizenship, they're mad. They're like, nah, they shouldn't be able to jump in front of the line in front of us. So that's causing a problem with the ones that are already here too. M. Thompson, how you doing? Says they'll dust Clyburn off next and have him as Biden's hype man. Well, yeah, he's already that, because it was Clyburn that helped put Biden back in the game, because y'all know his campaign was like dead in the water. And then Clyburn told the black voters in South Carolina, hey, y'all got to do that or whatever, because they're pretty heavy hitters in the primaries, and so that's how Biden got back in the game. But yeah, Clyburn needs to go. Not just because he's 83, 84, 85. He's pretty up there, but because he doesn't do nothing. He does things for everybody else. And then he say, was it him? He said we shouldn't get reparations, but I forget what he said our reparations was. I know one of those other senators said that Obama was our reparations, but I think he kind of said the same thing too, if I'm not mistaken. Michael said more black millennials than baby boomers are moving to the African continent. Yeah, that is true. Only Pamela's Way says she riding with Biden. She's plain pitiful. It goes to show book smart versus common sense, and she book smart, and that's all wonder. Was she one of the bootlegs who got cussed out by Biden? Who knows, right? Now, if I understand too, she's some big time attorney there in the Dallas area. But yeah, that whole I'm riding with Biden, and because even Charlamagne says, do you think I might be making a mistake by keeping them in there? And they just won't say yeah, because it is a big mistake. I mean, not even his policies, he's not coherent a lot of the time. It's like y'all gonna force him on the American people once again, huh? Okay. So I'm gonna skip down just a little bit. And Lion Pride, how you doing? It says, Demetria, nice to catch your show live. You are looking great. Oh, thank you so much. It says, while covering meaningful topics, shalom, peace, and stay strong. And you do the same. And thank you so much for joining us. And Wild Williams, how you doing? Greetings to you as well. And Michael said, so Roland is getting money from Biden. I don't know if that's the case. I've heard whether he's actually doing that. I don't know, but it would make sense, right? If he is. Thank you, average logical thinker. Hey, Patty, how you doing? And Buckhurst says, we are the greatest people in human history. You better believe it. And Carla says, she can't put me together. Well, that's what they send her out there for, right? Y'all don't understand, what y'all need to do. She walking tall and talking tough. They got her up there, in Congress being spicy and stuff, defending Hunter Biden. It's like, why of all people are you defending Hunter Biden? Why? Well, he loved his son, he would do anything for your son. Well, so then why don't that apply to Trump? Because, they trying to get his kids, gaffled up in the legal system as well. So why does that just apply to Hunter? Now, come on now. There's been a lot of evidence out there that Hunter is riding dirty in one way, shape, or form, but yet he gets a pass because, his daddy loved him. She sounds so ignorant. So ignorant. But then a lot of, people, ooh, she told them. What did she tell them? She didn't tell them nothing. She sounded ridiculous. And let's see here. Steven says they don't cuss the Palestinians out, and they already said they're not voting for Biden. Yeah, the Muslim community, especially in Minnesota and all that, they said, nah, you won't be getting our vote for obvious reasons, right? And that's what we should be doing. See, they don't have to go through centuries and centuries, or I should say decades. I mean, of course, we know what's been going over there in the Gaza Strip has gone on for decades. But, as far as to this degree, they're like, we don't need to have that happen to us for decades before we organize and we, take some action. And that's what we need to do. We need to follow their lead and organize as well. Say, well, yeah, they doing some horrible things to y'all, but they've been doing horrible things to Black people since we've been over here. So, yeah, we need to organize as well. So, you're absolutely right. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? I appreciate that. And thank you so much, too, for sharing my stuff and tagging me and things. I love it. Appreciate you for that. And Kamarin, how you doing? Says, wow, another Democratic mammy. Yeah, you talk about Jasmine. They like to be that, though. They think it's something admirable and respectable to do. y'all remember what's her name? Simone Sanders, the one that was helping with the campaign of Joe Biden, and she went out there when somebody ran on the stage. She was like, "No, never mind, Secret Service people, I got it. I'm gonna protect Joe myself." She got out there looking like a linebacker. It's like, that ain't even your job. But you wanted to be the one, huh? And then they did her dirty to where she ain't even in the administration no more. I think they wanted her to be like Kamala's bed warmer or something. I don't know. They wanted her to fold Kamala's bed sheets. And, she left because, she wasn't getting the respect she deserved. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of messed up. You put your whole body on the line and they didn't even give you nothing. Like, we never heard or saw her again. So, Socrates, how you doing? You say the president did something specifically for Asian LGBT. Yeah, so it's like, come on. We're going to keep having this conversation about, he can't do anything just for Black people, or, he's the president of everybody. He's the president of everybody except for Black people, So, wow. All right, so let's see here. Oh, skipped up. Okay, so 1 second. Let me see. Ooh. All right, and so, thank you, Buckhorse. And Michael says, I understand why America does not want to issue cash payment reparations for ADOS, because Mzungus, Asians, and Hispanics would lose control of white supremacy and racism. Yeah, and then we become independent, right? We get our money, we go do our things because we would create businesses and schools and, things that take care of ourselves. They don't want us to be independent because a lot of us are in the service industry and all the other stuff, that they need us for, right? And with white supremacy, they need to feel superior to somebody. Well, if you give us a giant infusion of cash, you're no longer superior. Now, we know white supremacy is a false idea, but to them it's not. But if they even the playing field, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about that. He says, what master gonna make the slave equal to him? He's not. So, yeah, so you're on to something, Michael. And Jesse says these Democrat shills have no chill, Demetri. No, they don't. There's no shame. Like, where's your shame? A lot of them tout MLK, Martin Luther King, where one of the last things he said is, I fear that I've led my people into a burning house. And yet they continue to try to lead their people into a burning house. Even after they heard, Martin Luther King said, wow, I've made a mistake. They're going to keep making it. It's crazy. 1619, how you doing? It says, anything for that money. You better believe it. For the almighty dollar. Let me skip down just a little bit so I can catch up here. Gabriel, how you doing? It says, did Jasmine Crockett say working on the water in Flint? Yeah. Says, who the heck she think she's going to fall for that nonsense? Yeah. As I said, just that small clip, they're working on it. We're trying. What we're getting ready to is always I'm finna gonna when it comes to Black people. It's never, well, hey, wait a minute. Did y'all get those checks in the mail? We ain't talking about the stimulus that everybody got. We talking about those reparations. Did y'all get that yet? Because if y'all didn't get it, yeah, it's coming, right? It's going to be a direct. They ain't talking like that as well. Wait on it. We're going to see. How about this one, y'all? This is what we've been hearing the last, since the 90s or so. We're going to study reparations. We're going to study reparations. And we ain't heard nothing else about it since. We don't even hear about the studies. Like, is it on the shelf collecting dust? What is it? Where's this panel, this committee? Even the ones in the different states, right? We were hearing about all these studies. California, they were supposed to come big, right? They had all of us excited. I was like, man, I know I better get my money because, I'm a native Californian, whatever. And was it June? They were supposed to come out with some findings, the end of June. We ain't heard nothing yet. Are they still studying? Did they get lost in the library? Like, what's going on here? So Urban Bait, how you doing? Says Social Security checks are given only once a month, but they can afford to give our tax money to people that have not paid taxes. Yeah. Back in the day, Social Security was what? You get it at your young 60s or something. I know it's kind of still like that now, but they said if the rate is going, most people ain't going to be able to get it until their 70s. But yet they getting it now. You know, and then when you do get to Social Security, you're going to have some other retirement or something to go along with it. Otherwise, your retirement supplement is going to be people greeting at Walmart. But you got people who ain't paid into it no kind of way. They getting Social Security, but they doing that in our faces like, or what they going to do about it, you know? And Gabriel says, if Biden gets the water fixed in Flint, Michigan, and Jackson before this term is over, yeah. I mean, if they do it, it's because they're like, we got to make a mighty move in order to get win back the black voter. That would just be a drop in the bucket, no pun intended, right? As far as water, that'd be a drop in the bucket. Yeah, you need to get that fixed anyway. People don't want to be drinking, water that'll kill them or give them health issues. They shouldn't have to do that, right? Because they got to pay the water bill. So if I'm paying a water bill, I want to pay for something I could actually use, right? They're not cutting off a percentage of the water bill, are they? No, they probably still making them pay the water bill. So yeah, Biden could do that, but he needs to, do a whole lot of other stuff. Steven saying, Mitch McConnell, yes. Mitch McConnell said Obama was our reparations. Yep. Buckhorst says, we fought and won every single American war and died. No doubt. We are not immigrants. We are the grassroots soil. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so you guys are saying it was Mitch. And Gabriel says, if the water is not completely fixed before November 2024, Biden kick rocks. Yeah, I mean, like I said, even if he does fix it, there's other stuff he needs to do. Top Notch Rocker, how you doing? Says they went to Democratic fish fry. That's what got Biden his win. Yep, sure did. They tout out the fish every time they want to talk to black people. Bring out the fish and hot sauce and a good old line dance for you, and then make you feel good. Oh yeah, I got to go vote for Biden because that fish was the bomb. It's like, really? Yeah, logical thing. It says if Mitch McConnell really said that, he's reaping his karma now for that. And where has he been? Because y'all remember he got kind of at the microphone a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So where has he been? And his people were like, oh, he's fine. He's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Y'all just lie so much. Y'all think we believe that. We saw the man. He was like, he was in a wax museum or something. I don't know. But, speedy recovery to him. John, how you doing? Say peace and blessings, my diva. Damn you. Oh, thank you so much. You say keep speaking the truth to power. I shall. Jesse said, just like Mammy on the plantation. Yeah, but they have no shame, though, And Car VC, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, add her to the do not ever vote for list. Right. She definitely needs to be on that list. Okay, so let me skip down a little bit because I see I'm a little bit behind. Brother Samuel says, if you said young men for war and old men for counsel, I'm sorry, it is said, young men for war and old men for counsel. So we need youth in office with a propensity to fight and seek counsel from the elders. Exactly, but not the other way around. These people are dying on the seat and they lying in state in the rotund, because they just wouldn't get up, right? They're like Feinstein. She died on the seat. And they said that lady didn't know she was on Earth or Mars, but they said she was even trying to vote. What are you voting on, ma'am? So yeah, they do need to say, okay, it's time to go. Let some young blood up in here. They can, put their eyes and their brains and, stuff to things so we can progress. But we haven't progressed because the older council, the wise council, won't get up off it. They just won't do it. So yeah, I see y'all talking about Simone Sanders. And one mystery, how you doing? Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for the donation. Says she riding with him to the nursing home, the grave, hell. Right, it's selfish at this point. It's selfish. And I think because Biden is such a dictator, okay. I think a lot of them are afraid. They're afraid to really just rock the boat with him because he sounds like a really old, crotchety, just grumpy old man. Y'all heard how he was talking to the Black misleadership right before he went into the White House. I know what I'm talking about. Y'all listen to me. So I think they're like, yeah, we better get on board. And then for them to say that, yeah, we think Biden needs to get up, they have to admit that they screwed up. They have to admit that they sold the American people some nonsense, and they're never going to do that. So, Bakari, how are you doing this fine evening? You say, Our people have become prostitutes for the country. Miss Tiffany, how you doing? Says, as a Black person, they have to be paid to be on the damn side, knowing they're not doing anything for Black people and don't plan on it. Absolutely. And welcome. Bakar says, should have, could have, but they didn't. Yep. Let's see here. I'm going to skip down just a little bit more so I could catch up. Jesse says, John Conyers introduced HR 40 in 1987. So yeah, it was before the 90s. Said the same year I was born. It's just been collecting dust for 36 years. Yeah, I think of Sheila Jackson Lee, who tried to pick it up and was like, okay, we gonna keep studying. It's like, Sheila, you damn near was on the plantation yourself for real. What do you need to study? And John Conyers too. Y'all old enough to know about slavery. What do you need to study? That's just games that they play with us to get us all excited for nothing. You know that slavery happened. You know that Jim Crow happened. You know that nonsense is still going on with Black people. What exactly are you studying? Okay, y'all, listen, if I broke the law and I went into hiding somewhere, y'all would know, y'all would find me, y'all would know exactly who I am. Y'all know everything about me, all the way down to the last cell in my body. And so you can figure out who is American descendants of slavery. You can figure that out. It's not hard. So what exactly are you studying? Do we ever even ask those questions? What are you studying, by the way? What are you studying? They'll never be able to tell you. So I don't know. Michael says, Demetria, why not move to Africa continent where everything is safe and affordable? I mean, some people want to move to Africa. Eventually, I would love to do that. I've been to Africa. It's very beautiful, very nice. But some people don't want to do that. You know, some people are like, this is home for me. And the American government owes a debt. And do you really think the American government want Black people just to leave? It sounds cute in theory, but they don't want us just to leave because who gonna, do their job? They don't really want us to leave. And, I think staying should be an option if you want to stay. But because I think a lot of times, I think leaving and going where more of us are, I think that's optimal. But then it also says, well, they ain't going to give it to us, so we might as well just leave, right? No, we force their hand like everybody else does. Brother Samuel says, what does it say about us when white politicians can continuously tell us the same line and lie to us every year, and we are still gullible to it? There are always to get to shallow tranquilizing drug of gradualism. I had to read that, but the first the first part definitely, they're all gonna lie, all of them. Even the Black ones are lining up to lie. They're just continuing on with the lie. Jay Bubba says they only give them the catfish nuggets. Oh, really? Just the nuggets? That rubbery collar part. Ew. Do they get hot sauce at least? Tartar sauce? All right. So Bakari says politics are made to reinforce old policies. Good point. Rodney says, I called Sheila Jackson Lee office today and asked her about her progress on moving HR 40 to the DNC. Her assistant told me to check their website. I said, this is why she lost the mayoral race, because of the ineffective assistance being given, no tools to advocate for, from so-called ground zero in her office. Yeah, they're going to pass the buck. We're going to look on her website. Well, there's a lot of people who looked on her website and they didn't see a whole lot about Black people at all. In fact, it was a lot about immigrants, So why do we got to go look on the website? Nobody else has to go look on the website. All these other people they're helping, they don't have to go look on websites to see, what exactly is being done. Why couldn't they just tell you? Whoever's answering the phone, oh, I'll be glad to tell you that. Well, she's doing A and C and B. Oh, the HR 40, yes, they're actually, matter of fact, she can't come to the phone because they're talking about it now. Why can't they tell you that? We'll go look on the website. And not you, Rodney, but they know most people ain't going to go look on the website. They know that. So they just keep on passing us down, go look. Yeah, it's on there somewhere. Beat it. So you're right. That's why she didn't get in office. And I don't think she'll be the next congresswoman as well, because she's gonna run for re-election for the 16th time. For the 16th time, Sheila Jackson Lee is running for office. Why? So you could do more of the stuff you didn't do in the last 15 terms? More of not like why? Nothing says megalomaniac like I'm gonna keep running till I can't run anymore. That's what megalomaniacs do. They are greedy and hungry for power at all costs. And that's what she and a lot of her homies are. They just, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to hold on to the power. As Charlton Heston said that one day, I think it was at the Oscars, or no, the NRA. From my cold, dead hands, will you take my rifle? You know, pretty much what he said. And that's what those politicians are saying. You're going to have to take the power out of my hands when I die. You know, let's see here. And Carmen, how you doing? I see you referring to Michael. How you doing? Beach Material says, Demetra, I see a few trolls in here. If you give me a wrench and I can remove them for you. Light work. Okay. I haven't seen them yet. Maybe because I have some moderators already, but I need some more. But I haven't seen them yet. But when I do, y'all point them out to me and I'll get them if I don't see them. Steven says, I'm so happy Sheila lost. Yeah, a lot of people are. Michael says, why do black baby boomers love America so much, unlike our black millennials? Because they were closer to the civil rights struggle. If not, most of them probably were there. They were closer to Jim Crow and all of that, the things that they could not do and the tyranny. I mean, we still are, but not like they were. And so they also were sold a false bill of goods, the false idea of civil rights, you know, and that only really allowed us to integrate into what though? As Martin Luther King said, a burning house. We integrated and our neighborhoods and businesses dilapidated. That wasn't a win for us. It was a money grab. White America wanted more black dollars because back then we were practicing group economics because we had to, right? But then the baby boomers and, you know, the silent generation, they fought to be next to them. And it's like, why? You know? And we've been asking that question ever since. So I think that's why they do it, because they are closer to that struggle than we are. Yeah, Jesse's like, what do you need to study at this point? And Brother Samuel said there is a book entitled How White Folks Got So Rich. There's a lot of books like that, right? Bakari says it's my money and I want it now. Absolutely. Angela, how you doing? Says they have all of the health studies that claim we're the sickest people that love. They love to report. We are. I think you meant sick financially as well. That is true. But when it comes down to how much money they owe us, we need to study it. We need to see. You know, in Troy, you say all they need was $5 to say that they were Native American. How much is their ancestry? Did they trace it back? Good point. So you're talking about what they call the $5 Indian. And the average logical thinker says, this is my home. My ancestors built this country and we have a human right to fair sustainability here. It's shameful that we even have to consider leaving this country. Yeah, and that's what I said. So the people who want to leave, they should. You know, I'm entertaining it myself. I got, you know, family, my father and stuff here, so I can't really go at this time. And plus, you know, there needs to be preparation. You can't just up and leave, right? You got to make sure you're good, that you have a way to take care of yourself. Yeah, a lot of those places it's a lot cheaper to live than here, but you still got to make sure that the money keeps coming in. And, you know, it's a lot to consider. But for those who don't want to leave, I would never shame them because they don't want to leave. You know, like you said, you know, our ancestors built this place, died here, lives were taken, and a whole bunch of stuff. So I get it. Buckhart says they bullied us 5 years, no more. And okay, J Bubba says they got that Dollar General brand hot sauce. They won't even give them Texas Pete or Louisiana hot sauce. That's a shame. Roddy, how are you doing today? You say, breaking news, read Torah, Deuteronomy 28:48. Then Google the words yoke of iron upon thy neck. Click images. Behold, the real Jews and Israelites of prophetic scripture. Now you are woke. Okay. Got you. Oh, okay. Buckhorse says they bullied us for 500 years. No more. Got you. Indeed. And Carvisi, you say the study is a grift using us to make a quick lick. Each task force is costing $100,000 plus. Yeah, that costs money. It's not free. I think even Chicago now is talking about I think it's $100,000 or maybe it's a little bit more so to fashioning a committee to study reparations. So that's not even for them to actually do it. They need to, put together this task force. Like, stop it, Brandon Johnson, stop it. Okay. So now all of a sudden you got to find this money and all this other stuff. But yeah, you found all the money to the tune of, they said almost $300 million of what they'll be spending for the migrants in Chicago alone this year. So you found the money then, and you don't have to put together a committee. Just give the people the money. Just do it that way. Angela says they have all of the health studies they claim. Okay, we're the sickest people in America. Well, we're the financially sickest too, because of what they continue to do or not to do for us. Absolutely. Ursula, how you doing? Said he is Eddie Bernice Johnson. Oh, so it's a she? Is that where we're going? It says finally retired. Yeah, I don't know anything about that person. I have to look into it though. Mike Nice, how you doing? Brother Don, how you doing? As my moderator. Yeah, he's still out there in the streets. And plus where he's at, Donovan, we're speaking of, the internet is not good at all. Y'all see him try to come on here and he goes in and out. So it's very frustrating because he's like, it hasn't worked the whole time I've been here. But he's leaving on Saturday, so I think maybe he'll be back here on Sunday, but for sure Tuesday, next Tuesday, he'll be back in the saddle. But then he's leaving again in February for the Super Bowl to go back to the DR. So I don't know. Try to keep up with Donovan. And Keith, how you doing? Says, do you think the falling numbers of Black Democratic support is much higher than they reported? Absolutely. I absolutely believe that. Yes, I do. There's a lot of people they haven't talked to, a lot of people who haven't said anything to anybody, right? They're just going to keep it to themselves. When election day comes or whatever, I'm going to stay home. I think case in point, like I said, with the election here with Sheila Jackson Lee, a lot of Black people just didn't show up for a whole host of reasons, Maybe they showed up during the real election in November and they was like, I'm not doing it again. I've already done it. I'm not going to show up and do it again. So, yeah. Absolutely. Rodney says, bootleg comfortable Negroes. Sheila is not even ADOS or FBA. Since she is not our lineage, how is Sheila over HR 40? Would you put a Nazi over the Jewish reparation package? Oh, no, I would not. And yeah, I mean, I guess I get that, as far as she probably doesn't have any real interest because she wouldn't be getting any of it, right? If she don't have any direct link to American slavery. Yeah. So yeah, she's over it. Go figure. You make a good point. And Kerman, you say, Jasmine Crockett from my part of the country, East Texas, there is no hope for the ones like her. Gotta be a good Democrat. Yeah. And honestly, I just really started hearing about her when she was on Congress, acting all spicy with everybody, defending Biden and Hunter. That's when I really started to pay attention. I was like, okay, who is this lady? Doing all that neck rolling and sassiness and stuff like that. And now we know. Michael say, Demetra, I am asking a question because I don't want to see your people getting stressed out and have health issues. Too late. We already stressed out with health issues. But no, I get it. I think a lot of people probably would leave if they could, but it's a little bit more to it than, hey, pack your backpacks and you're going to another continent to live. It's a little bit more to it than that, but I get it. You also say you can do it because you are set financially and emotionally. I don't know about all of that. I mean, I've been to Africa. It's a lovely place. I would love to spend a lot more time there. I would love to live there sometimes and then, come back here and live. It's definitely really peaceful. Went to Johannesburg, South Africa. Very nice. Went to the Seychelles. Didn't like the Seychelles much because there's a lot of them people over there, and I don't want to go to the continent and see them. But yeah, it takes a little bit more preparation than I'm just going to up and leave, And Bakari says Chase banks exist of money made from our people being prisoners of war. Absolutely. A lot of slave trade money, a lot of these organizations. To the bottom. And Buckhorse, you say, our God is God, and he gave us promise, and he's Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending. Absolutely. Angela says, speaking of woke, you say SJL. Oh, Sheila Jackson Lee. I was thinking about was it Sarah Jessica Parker? That's who I was thinking about. I was like, no. Okay, so Sheila Jackson Lee felt the woke no vote, didn't she? Yeah. Like I said, I'd be up in the 3rd and 5th ward, where we be at, and it's horrible. I know she doesn't directly have a hand in it. She would have as the mayor or city council person, but she represents those people. She's supposed to be bringing home money to her district and, stuff to help the district. And, or, she could at least say something to Sylvester Turner like, yo, our people neighborhoods are dilapidated. Have you been over there lately? And every time I'm over there, I know damn well they haven't been over here themselves. Because if they have gone over there, they would see the potholes. And I harp on the potholes because to me, it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable, some of those potholes. Like your whole damn car fall in some of those potholes, And it's like, it's not an emergency to fix that. There's a lot of wild dogs running around. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I've even read stories of people being mauled to death in some of those areas because there's just a lot of dogs that are, starving or hungry, whatever the case is. And they maul people, sometimes to death. That's scary to me, the garbage and just the buildings that are dilapidated and, the gentrification. There's full-on gentrification going on over there. And, no mayor, city council person, or whoever, they don't care. They just don't care. And as I said, when I go through there, I always see the churches that are the nicest buildings in the neighborhoods. And I see all the campaign signs there. Vote for Sheila, vote for this person, vote for that person. It's like, I know they ain't been over here to even ask for these people votes. They might be up in the church, but they're not going to knock on the door because most of those doors, are being held up by a thread, and the yard that they would have to step all over is not all that great. So I know they ain't been over there. So yeah, Sheila Jackson Lee, she understood, didn't she? She understood this time. They didn't want her during the regular election in November. And they let her know finally during the runoff, we don't want you, Sheila. Go back. So yeah, but of course, Donovan is a crazy Cowboy fan. Yeah, he's having a good time, nevertheless, over there. I literally spoke to him a couple of minutes ago, but he said the internet is terrible. So, he's having his fun. Michael says, Demetri, everybody needs to vote Republican 100%. How about that for a change? If they wanted to do that, that kind of be on them to vote for the Republicans again. We know Republicans aren't that much better for Black people. And I know a lot of the, Democratic pundits, they get mad when people say, well, things were better off for people under Trump financially and things like that. Oh, no, it wasn't. Everybody I speak to that's Black business owners or whatever, they say, yeah, I had a little bit more money under Trump, but for us, they don't want us to focus on money because they don't talk about money when it comes to Black people, right? They talk about symbolism. Oh, Trump's the boogeyman. The Democrats are the party of the people, that kind of stuff. But when a Black person says, no, I really like Trump because I was doing better business-wise and financially. Oh, well, you just need to learn about civics. Yeah. You don't need to talk about money. You need to learn how government works. And it's like, shut up. Just be quiet. You don't get to tell me. And that's another thing. Test this theory out, y'all. Test this theory out. They always tell us, right? What are they saying now? Democracy's in danger. We got to vote because democracy's in danger. Ask yourself, what is democracy? Democracy is when everybody has a say-so. Okay, let's break it down a little bit more. As Black people in America, when have we ever had a say-so to how this country is going to run? And even in the 1870s, when we had the most Black senators and, people in Congress, back then, of course, y'all know all the racism that went on, the KKK and all of that. Besides that, when have we ever had a say-so in America of how we want things to be? How, well, what, I think this is the way it should be for Black. When have they ever listened to us? So what is this democracy that they keep saying is endangered? There's no democracy for Black people here, but yet it's almost like if you repeat it enough, then eventually they'll keep believing it. They'll keep saying it. Again, think about Obama. Ann Coulter, she's very, conservative on the right side of the, things. She said, Obama sold people hope and change. Hope and change, hope and change. Oh, hope, keep on, I know it's Jesse Jackson, but Obama said something about hope and change, and yes, we can. And she says, but he never defined change or hope. He never did. And nobody ever asked him to. We all ran around. Well, some of us, because I ain't gonna lie to Kick It, I voted for Obama. Oh yeah, I'm hoping we don't change, but we never knew what that was. So it's the same thing. Democracy. But see, if we really just stopped a minute and thought about it, okay, well, they keep saying democracy is in danger. It's up to us to help protect democracy. If we ever say democracy means where everybody has a say so, have I had a say so? Have my people had a say so about how we want the agenda for the country to go? Well, no. Then the next thing we should say, well, then why they keep saying that to us? Because they know we won't, because we won't ever ask them to define it. We need to start asking them, your Rollins and all them other people, you Jasmine Crockett's, define all this democracy you talking about. Roland's big on talking about the judges, you idiots, the judges, y'all let Trump put all these judges, blah, blah, blah. But what about the judges that was already there before Trump got there? How many of them judges was really helping Black people? Because when he says that kind of stuff, he makes it seem like, well, the judges that when Obama was in there, they was really helping Black people. Black people never been helped so much by judges when Obama was in. That ain't true either. There's no judge anywhere that's predominantly, okay, I ain't gonna lie, it's probably one or two. You know what I mean? 3, 4, 5, let's say 10. But overall, ain't no judge really just help Black people like that. They haven't. So it's bullcocker. Let's see here. Okay. And then the Buckhorn, she says, we're not going back to slavery, period. Now, I know I ain't. And Michael said, Demetri, how about Tanzania, where it's 100% Black people? I don't have a problem with going to the continent. I don't, but I'm saying everybody don't want to go back. I would love to live in Africa. I really would, because I was at peace over there, But everybody don't want to do that. So, let's make a strategy for here. How do we survive here? Because let's keep it a buck. All Black people, and not even most Black people, are leaving America. They're not. They're just not. James Brown, how you doing? It says, hashtag reparations money now for American descendants of slavery. ADOS reparations money now. Yes, indeed. It says, Michael says, how about pets running for office? Who? Pets who? Keith says, you would think the Democrats would realize the more they send out the Democratic shields, the more we are getting upset. Well, they think somebody gonna get out there and be able to change our minds. They think, Sapphire Jasmine Crockett is gonna get out there and get us all together. Tell us to, get on board with what they talking about. No, we're not. We're not gonna do that, okay? And you guys are right. She don't need to be sitting in that office either, because she's just doing more bidding for the party that does nothing specifically for Black people. So she might need to be getting up off of her seat too. Let's see. Let's skip down a little bit. And Carmen, you say there has never been a democracy, right, in America. Never. But they tell us that. Y'all, democracy, we need to protect democracy. The hell is that? Next time somebody say that to you, be like, if you don't define that to me, I'm never speaking to you again. Define what democracy is. And if they can't tell you that, or they probably will, if they give you the right definition, that should be in the conversation right there. Then you say, well, when have we as Black people had to say so? What you're gonna hear is, you have to say so when you go to the booth. How's that been working out for us? It hasn't. Carvisi, you say, we vote as a block and no candidate will know our choice until the election results. They will work for this win. Yeah, I'm nonpartisan. And I think that's a good thing to be independent and nonpartisan. That way they have to work for your vote. But if you say you're a Democrat or Republican, they just assume you're going to vote for them. So, Mike, you say, great question. Yeah. Do we benefit from democracy? And Angela says, say so through representation, though. He says, we have no real representation. Nope, we do not. Rodney says, on YouTube, now looking at Third Ward, wow, a lot of boarded up houses trash. And that's exactly how it looks. That's exactly, and it's worse in person. I'm telling you, it'll make you sad. It's like, man, it's so left behind. And it's like the people who're supposed to care about them, the city council, that's their direct line of contact. They don't care about their people. They only care about them enough, for election time. And after that, they go on and, go because they got to live in the ward or, the area to some degree, but they don't live on that part of town. They live in the pristine part of town, and the next time they talk to the people in that particular area is when they need their vote again. That's it, And I was in, it wasn't League City, but it was a city close to it yesterday. And they have a city hall that's no joke, that's right in the neighborhood. Because like most city halls are kind of like downtown where in a downtown district where there's businesses and stuff or whatever. But in this particular community, it's right in the neighborhood. And I said, you know what? They should make all the city halls right smack dab in the neighborhoods, or at least put the city council person's office right smack dab in the neighborhood that they're supposed to represent. That way, when the constituents have an issue, they can, hello there, my neighbor keeps getting on my nerves. Or have you walked down the street? Have you seen this giant pothole? I damn near killed myself. Whatever. It needs to be right in the middle of the neighborhood. That way, they can see what's going on, and the people can really touch them and say, hey, walk down the street with me. I want you to get in the car with me because it's not safe, right? We got 20 pit bulls, terrorizing the neighborhood. But then the way they're situated now, they're far away, normally from the district that they represent. They don't ever have to go over there unless it's an extreme emergency or something like that. It's election time. But no, put their office right in the middle of the neighborhoods they're supposed to represent. I bet you they start getting stuff done then, because they don't want Glow the Dean and Melvin and them come knocking on their door every day talking about, there's a leak here, there's a pothole there, and the easement this, and they ain't gonna want that, so they gonna do the job. What y'all think about that? And Michael says, Demetria, were you surprised that Obama had to talk to white to appease Muslims? No, they all have to do that. They all have to talk to them. That's, who pulling the strings. They got to talk to them. They're going to talk to them before they talk to us. Obama said that. He's like, yeah, there's stuff I wanted to do for Black people, but I really couldn't because I didn't want to make everybody else mad. He said that. So, now that he's not in office, right? And Ren, how you doing? You say, I saw Jasmine on the Breakfast Club and never mentioned, and I'm going to call them migrants for the sake of YouTube. But yeah, I believe it. And yes, Lion Pride, thank you for the thumbs up reminder. And of course, you guys, we have ways to help the channel. If you guys see fit to do that, love and appreciate you. But at the very least, please give it a thumbs up. And the comment says, when Ann Coulter makes sense, there's an issue. She even got props on Boondocks. Yeah. As they say, broken clock is right at least twice a day, and she's very incendiary, some things she says, but sometimes if you just really stop and listen to people, instead of listening to it from a jaded point of view of what everybody else told you to listen for, then you'd be like, well, sans all of the other stuff she says, she's making some good points. I did a video, and actually a viewer sent me the idea, and I wish I remembered their name right off the top of my head. But they actually sent me a clip of Ann Coulter. It was like 11 years ago when she was on one of those shows. And she says, well, civil rights was supposed to be for Black people. She says, but it's for everybody else now. It ain't supposed to be for migrants and everybody else. It's supposed to be for Black people. But it's not. She says everybody else is benefiting from civil rights other than Black people. So she said the truth there. Troy says, we would only be helping other people's democracy. Exactly. That's what they really mean, right? J Bub says, hell, The black judges are the worst, being a shine for massa. Yep. Angela says America is a democratic republic based on immigration. We are not immigrants. Yeah, it is actually a republic, not a democracy as they tell you it is. So good point. Buckhurst says, I got a Facebook and Instagram. I can push out everything I need to know. Will change and see it. I'm very connected, Miss K. I'm getting used to the internet. So teach me. I'm trying. But yeah, there's a lot of information on the internet, but you got to dissect it too, because there's a lot of misinformation on the internet as well. You for real, Michael. He said dogs and cats running for office. You tripping now. All right, let me skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. And Brogu, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, for a long time, we followed the script and just voted Democrat. Democrats have it in their minds that we're going to keep doing it. But that day is over. No reparations, no police reform, no vote. Period. In the story. It's the way it should be. Think of any other community. You think if all that stuff was going on with them, that they would continue to vote for the same party that's either allowing it to happen or that's ignoring it? They wouldn't do it. They would get them out of there. In fact, they're pretty good at getting those people out of there who don't do the job. They get them out of there. They don't let them sit on the seat and, just indefinitely, messing them over. They're like, nah, you got to go. We're going to bring somebody else up in here. So that makes their people work, do the job that they were sent to do. But us, she good. She went to the club last night. She reclaiming her time. Or she sat down with Megan Thee Stallion or whatever, right? That's the kind of stuff that gets us excited. So yeah. Top Secret Productions. How you doing? It says Biden signed an executive order for Indians, Tribal Nation 40 to start. Kamala gave a speech using Native Negro reasons for reparations. You know what? It's funny because I just saw that as I was looking at all the executive orders that Biden did, 126 of them so far for the time that he's been in office. And I did see that one. But I wonder how many people actually know that, right? And let's see here. Let me skip down. Angela said that's probably why it's not in the neighborhoods, right? But it needs to be in the neighborhoods. The city council people's office needs to be smack in the middle of the neighborhood. Should be, a good 2 miles at best for people. And you know what? I'll be back, honey. I'm going to visit our city council member, our representative, because we got some issues on the street, whatever. And I need to talk to them directly. See, if they get used to a line of people in the neighborhood outside their door needing to talk to them, they'll just get the job done. But they're too far removed. But I thought that was an excellent idea. It was literally right in the neighborhood. And there's houses all around it. Like you could literally walk over there and say, hey, I got a problem. Or what about this, And they need to do that. Michael say like my Southern accent when I was playing. That's how I imagine a lot of people out here sound. It's not necessarily true, but in my imagination, that's how they sound. Keith, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says, my sister is the Democratic president in my district in Florida, and the benign neglect among them folks is unreal. They hate to see me come, and I bet keep giving them hell. Keep giving them hell. You know what I mean? Because they have neglected us. And as I said with Sheila Jackson Lee, it backfired on her because they all go from the talking points of Daniel Moynihan. He's the one that actually came up with the term benign neglect in 1970 after he did that Moynihan report, right? Studying the Black family, figuring out that, the single mamas, making it hard for Black families. And they, he talked about a little bit of the discrimination and racism, but it was so half-baked. But he basically said, well, if we do what we call benign neglect, we know there's issues and we know we're the cause of it, but if we just ignore it, then we don't have to worry about the rise of the Black Messiah or these heroes or these Black militant groups, right? Because we want them to go away. So that's where the benign neglect term came from. And you got people like Sheila Jackson Lee and all the other Black misleadership. They've been using it, but it backfired on her behind. You neglect your people for so long, after a while, they just like, oh, you were running for mayor? I didn't even know you were still alive because, you just neglected them and they just forgot about you, right? So it backfired and, they actually neglected her. So Let's see here. Norris, how you doing? Says, what's crazy in America? The political system is the only job where the employee tells the employer what to do. That happens in no other business in America. Absolutely. We need to understand, as the voter, we are the boss. They actually are supposed to work for us, but it's the other way around. They get up there. I know what I'm talking about. I've been to city council meetings when they've told people I'm in control. I'm the city council person. I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to do what I've seen it. It's like, okay, keep that attitude next time around. Then of course they tend to change their tune, but they get so drunk on power and they forget, you working for the people who sent you there. Is not the other way around. So good point. Bro Gui says, no reparations, no police reform, no getting rid of qualified immunity, no anti-Black hate crime bill, no vote. Black people have to show this world that we are not going to accept symbolism anymore. I totally agree with you. Because all that stuff, at one point in time, they were talking about it. Yeah, we got a George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. That's on the federal level. Joe Biden don't have no jurisdiction really over the states. They make their own laws. They're not getting rid of none of that stuff. They're they create this database and all this other stuff, but all that stuff applies to the federal officers, the FBI, the CIA, Border Patrol, those people. They're not the ones that's typically doing the harm to Black people. So it was just nothing, a bunch of nothing. Then, of course, they talked about, we need to, this is Biden. We need to do something about these private prisons. We need to reduce how much funding they're getting in the private prisons. Well, it's like, you're going to do that on the federal level. You don't have no control over the state prisons. And it said that, what did it say? Because I wrote it down. It says, so there's it's about 100,000 inmates in private prisons, okay? And private prisons make up for about 8% of the prisons in America. So what about the other people? Over 2 million people, from what I understand, in prison. So it's like, that's only a drop in the bucket. That only addresses 8% of the people that's in these prisons. So you're just talking nonsense. But most people won't even do their research. So Andrew, how you doing? Says, Demetra, having any Democrat in authority makes less sense than getting on a 747 with the pilots being wow. Michael J. Fox and Stevie Wonder. You crazy. Now I don't want to get on, no shade to those people, but I won't want to get on a plane with them. Absolutely. And let's see, top secret. You say Ann Coulter, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan said nothing. Yeah, they did. It was like, why Ann Coulter, the biggest right-wing person probably on the planet, one of them, why she got to, speak the truth? Y'all let her do it. That should have been y'all doing it, and they were kind of flabbergasted. Van, how you doing? Says, good evening, Demetri. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And top secret, you say Cornel West is our only option. Is he? Is he our only option? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of looking at, Cornel West, and I don't know. I just think it's a waste of time, to be honest with you. If you want to vote for Cornel as a protest vote, I think that would be what I would use him for, but I wouldn't seriously try to get Cornel West into the White House, because I'm still like, what's your angle, man? So I don't know. Michael says, I saw Karen getting into a car accident with the brother and she evaded the scene. Yeah, that ain't nothing new. And Van, you say no reparations, no vote. Absolutely. Andrew says, not only are there going to be no reparations, but all Democrats will have to give all they got and hope they can work off the rest. I hear you. And Angela says, Biden's Build Back Better ain't filling our potholes. Right. And build what back better? What are you building back better? I even saw on there on some of the executive orders, it was something giving funding to Asian American Pacific Islander businesses or something like that. There was so many of them. I was just kind of quickly looking through them. I was like, that's interesting. But they can't do nothing specifically for Black people. And then if I understand too, Trump put out another platinum plan. If he gets into the White House, I saw it, but I haven't really looked it over to kind of see what's going on. But it's getting interesting. GP, how you doing? He says a little late because I just got back from a dinner date. Well, thank you so much. You going on all these dinner dates? Is it the same person or is it different people? Pop, how you doing? I am doing well. I hope you're doing fabulous. And Undisputed Truth, how you doing? He says, when will Black Americans wake up? If Dems cared, they would realize the damage migration, I have to say that word, does to Black Americans and secure the border. Right. I think Black people are learning that lesson now, especially in Chicago and New York and other places where they're just completely running roughshod over the Black constituents. Especially there in Chicago, they're like, They flat out saying, we're voting for Trump. Trump, come meet with us. That's what they're saying. Come meet with us, Republicans. We'd like to have a conversation with you. And of course, you hear people like Brandon Johnson, the mayor there, and other people, talking about bots and they're being negatively influenced and, all this other stuff. It's like, well, what you're basically saying is that your constituents are silly. They have no thought process of their own because they're getting off the talking points. Now they're not, believing all the stuff you said, because Brandon Johnson, he told Black people, oh yeah, we're going to be looking out for everybody. He wasn't even there 2 seconds before he started not seeing Black people, Kermit says Democrats feel like they all feel we will get mad. Then they lay low. Yep. And it will pass taking their voters for granted, because that's what we usually do, right? We get all mad and then we forget about it. And then when it's time to stroll to the poll again, we're all smiles. We're happy. We're glad to do it. And then they do it to us again. Van says, I thought Harry Kissinger came up with the term benign neglect. It's actually Daniel Patrick Moynihan. You guys heard the infamous Moynihan report. Henry Kissinger may have used it, but from what I understand, it was Moynihan who actually came up with that. It was kind of like his conclusion of his Moynihan report, because after he did all the study and stuff, people were like, okay, so then what? What do we do about it? And that's kind of where he came up with that term. From what I understand, too, it was a big write-up in the New York Times and everything about benign neglect. And Todd Seeger says, is it Tanashi Coach? You say grifted HR 40. Yeah, him. It was it Danny Glover and somebody else was up there in Congress talking about it, and we ain't heard nothing else from them since, And Pamela said exactly. And Buckhorse, she says, we not going. It says, we not going to give the heaven. Well, what does that mean? Michael said, does raising the gun price violate the Second Amendment to the Constitution? I don't think so, because it doesn't say that you cannot bear arms. I don't think there's a price cap in the Constitution for guns, is it? I don't know. Andrew says Biden said they're gonna put y'all back in chains, but in reality, it's him, right? Exactly. And Michael says, have you guys thought about starting a neighborhood supermarket in Black communities? We think about it all the time. Yeah, there's some, but we just need to support. It's a whole lot that goes into it. But yeah, we think about it all the time. It's not a rare concept to us as Black people. We used to have those things. Of course, civil rights came in. Of course, you also know, with the Black Wall Streets and stuff like that would happen. So, it's something we think about often. And there are some, in different places. Pop says Cornel West talks Black but marry white. From what I understand, yeah. And honestly, well, I'll leave that for another day. Well, I guess I will say it. Him marrying white doesn't bother me as much as what he will actually do, because let's take this case in point. This is where logic is going to have to come into play, okay? Obama married very Black. Michelle was probably one of the Blackest, beautiful Black women in America, the most notable Black woman in America. Obama married Black. What did he do for Black people with his Black wife? See, Because and that's why I said, like, we really got to think, and I'm not saying this about you, Pop, but we really got to think about some things because, yeah, we'd like for, the president to be with a black woman, but we had a president with a black woman and he didn't do nothing for black people. So what I'm saying is a lot of times it's black people that are with black people and do nothing for black people. It's just a fact. You have to do more than just marry somebody black. You actually got to do for black people, because who Cornel West is in the bed with doesn't do anything for us. But when he gets in the White House, that's where we should get concerned. Like, okay, forget your wife, man. What are you going to do for us? I don't care who you're in the bed with. What are you going to do for us? So anytime we hear that about, oh, Cornell's not with a white woman, Obama was. Oh, Cornell's not with a black woman, Obama was. And what did black people get because he was with a black woman? Van says Ann Coulter is dating Jimmy Walker from Good Times for several years now, confirmed a few years ago by the late Norman Lear, who recently passed. Yeah, and I know Jimmy Walker's a big time staunch Republican as well. I heard that, but then I heard it wasn't true. So I don't know. Kind of weird, right? A weird pairing. I don't know. But yeah, I heard that, but I don't know how true it is. Buckhurst says, our young are like that, Miss K. It's amazing. Poppy says, I'm hip hop. Okay. Andrew says, first black vice president, Kamala, first black lesbian press secretary. How's the diversity hiring coming along? Yeah. Pop says, those silly ninjas for Trump, shaking my head. Oh, you talking about the guys that said that? Yeah, that was kind of like, why? Out of all the things you could say, why put that on a shirt? But again, I don't judge anybody who wants to, exercise their right to vote for whoever they want to vote for, right? If you want to vote for Trump, vote for Trump. You don't want to, don't vote for Trump. But at the end of the day, you should vote your interest. That's what most people do. Except for us, you should vote your interest. What's in your better interest, right? I would think Keith says Biden Build Back Better plan is more migrant shelters. Yeah, from what we see, right? Michael says, Demetra, what do you say to angry Asian millennials who are going to vote for Biden for second term? That's their right to do that. That's their right. At least the Asians have gotten some from the Biden and Kamala, because that's what they say, Biden and Kamala, right? They've gotten some from the administration. So they kind of, I guess, will be all right to vote for them, but not us, not so much. And Top Secret says, not voting is not the answer. I get that, but some people, they said, sitting on the couch is a vote. I'm choosing not to, it's a choice. So I don't know. Some people are just disenfranchised to the point of I'm not gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna save my gas money and my time. So Andrew says, no, Chicago Brandon calls it an international crisis, but nobody asked him if he's an international mayor. Right. You know what I'm saying? That way it takes it all off him. Well, it's not just us, it's everybody. It was like, well, why are you helping everybody? They didn't elect you to help everybody. They elected you to help Chicago, right, Keith says, last time you checked, you're not a Russian bot, but that's what they run around saying, and Andrew says, what the Democrat elitists want black versus white, but the way it needs to be is blue versus red. And then if you read the Communist Manifesto, we all know that race, politics, and all the other stuff is really a distraction. The big thing that we're not looking at is the capitalism, because it's the ones that own the means of production, the bourgeoisie, that class, they're the ones that's pulling the string. So all this stuff we talk about, red versus blue, black versus white, all these other things we talk about, those are distractions. They don't want us to focus on what's going on with the money, who's moving the money. They don't want us to focus on that. And that's why they keep telling us we have a say-so. We don't have a say-so, but they make us think that we do. So the minute we stop becoming distracted, then we see what the real issue is. And red versus blue and all that, the red versus blue, they're the same party. They just call themselves different names. So, but I get what you're saying. Top Secret says Democrat and Republican don't want you to vote. Yeah, but we vote and get what? What are we getting for voting? Because we got to do more than just vote. Can't just say, oh, I voted. See, I got a sticker. I voted. You got to actually go get something for the vote. Because you're not going to walk into the store and say, I'm coming in here for a loaf of bread. And they like, well, we all up out of bread. Are you going to leave your money on the counter? And you didn't get no bread? Are you going to take your money and say, okay, I'll come back when you have some bread. And then I leave you my money. But the way we vote now is the equivalent of going to the store for bread. They don't have bread, and we just leave our money anyway. Well, I came and nobody can't say I didn't try. I tried. I brought my money to get some bread. They didn't have it, so I just left it. So nobody can say nothing about me. That's exactly what we do when we go vote and don't get nothing for it. Denise, how you doing? You say, where I live, if you don't vote for a candidate on the ballot, it's called an undervote, and they are counted so the candidates can see just how many people didn't vote for them. It's an eye-opener. Yeah, they need to do that everywhere. I like that. And Andrew says, see Barbados president saying America owes it $27 trillion in reparations. I'm sure it does, but we want our money first. Run us our money first, and y'all go, deal with them. All right, so I'm going to skip down a little bit. I'm just reading the comments. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Top secret. Jim Clyburn married black. A lot of them married black, and they ain't helped not one black person outside of themselves. So a lot of times, and again, that's that whole distraction, because Jim Clyburn is rich. The black people that vote for him, that he's supposed to serve, they ain't rich. And up until his wife died, he had a very black wife. And he didn't help black people, so we really got to start putting our thinking caps on. When we hear that kind of stuff, we got to stop and really think and say, I hear what you're saying. We got a lot of black people married to black people, and they don't even like black people, So Jason, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says, how much you need to see Trump did more for everyone. Yeah, and like I said, it's people's personal right to vote for whoever they want. I'm never going to shame people. Like a lot of us have been shamed. Yeah, you need to be voting for the Democrats. And I can't tell you how many heated debates I done had with family members, friends. I've been called everything but the child of God. A couple years back when Kamala Biden was trying to get in the White House. Oh my God, you would have thought I committed a cardinal sin or something. I don't know. It was rough. But now those same people, they either don't say nothing or they say, yeah, I hear what you're saying now. Yeah, you're right. Van says Kennedy is anti-reparations. So you're talking about Robert Kennedy Jr. It doesn't surprise me that he's anti-reparations. He's now independent, right? Because I know he was trying to run on the Democratic ticket, but now he's independent. Andrew says Obama brought all the hope and change, 8 years, and it's all good while he's loving Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, he got all that money. I think they said he is one of the presidents that made the most money after his presidency or something like that. So, yeah, it's worked out for him. GP says not sharing too much. It's a different older woman I go out with every time I have a date. Okay. I always hope for something serious long term, but it ends with them always using me as a one-night stand. Oh, yeah. Maybe don't do nothing with them on the first night. Wait a while. Janet Jackson said, let's wait a while. Wait a while. The first night, no. They want to jump your bones on the first night. That's probably not your woman, because you might want to ask yourself why. You an older woman, you should know better by now. That's stuff you did in your 20s. Maybe. I didn't, but some people did. You don't do that as a seasoned woman. Just be hopping on a man on the first night. You need to start saying no. I will not allow you to use me. I hope that helps. Jason says, we don't care. Democratic, Republicans, they're all deleting us. Absolutely. Bro Guyu says, can somebody tell me why South Carolina keeps voting in Jim Clyburn? They have the poorest district in the nation, but they keep putting that fool in office. What's wrong with our people? Seriously. A lot of times it's the name, it's apathy. It's just the fish. Maybe they putting some extra season on the fish because isn't he the one that's really super famous for the fish fries? You take a man's fish, you got to vote for him, right? I don't know. And Jason says, yep, Obama and Big Mike, y'all better quit. Y'all know doggone well that woman ain't no man. Y'all better stop. My goodness. Michelle, how you doing? Says black people have Stockholm syndrome when it comes to voting for the Democrats. Yep. Sympathize with your captors, right? Absolutely. Top Secret says Biden told you what he was going to do before the elect. He sure did, and he was dead serious about it. Michelle says the only way Biden wins is if he steals it again. Okay, so you would Trump and them stop the steal. You know, a lot of them got in trouble for that whole stop the steal stuff. So, and I saw one guy, he got like, he's an ex-police officer. I think he got 11 or 12 years recently. Like, yikes. And Jason says, no one reads the Bible, no fear of God. I know the Bible, I say probably better than a lot of people. I don't read it all the time, but I definitely think there should be a fear of God. But y'all know how I feel about religion, but I won't get into that for the sake of time. All right, so let me skip down. And Panther Strike, long time no see. How you doing? You say, Dr. Claude Anderson has taught us that voting is an illusion of power. So in order for power to be achieved, there must be a trade, quid pro quo. Yeah, absolutely. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the same thing. He says, no matter who's in the White House, they ain't going to do nothing for black people. But that's what they give us. Oh, you got to make a choice. Whoever you put in the White House going to help you. No, they not. They haven't. And they won't. They're not. They're just not. And it is an illusion. It is supposed to be a give and a get. Right? I give you my vote. And then you do something for me. That's how it's supposed to work. But us, we guilted and shamed into continuing to vote for nothing. So yeah. Buckhorse says, if my family can't live and thrive, you know the rest. Absolutely. And Denise says, no, not voting is a vote for you decided there is no one on the ballot you will do anything for that will do anything for you. So yes, a no vote is a vote. Absolutely. Because we hear that a lot too. Oh, actually, if you don't vote, that's a vote for Trump. No, it's not. It's a no vote. A vote for Trump is me actually going in there and voting for Trump. Because why can't the no vote also be a vote for Biden? But see, that's that shaming stuff. If you don't go vote for Biden, that's really a vote for. Shut up. No, it's not. Nora says, I don't care about Democrats or Republicans, but if they really wanted to stick it to the Dems, they should make commercials with black people saying what they haven't done for black people, just saying. Yep. And Jason says they built a world of great confusion to make you take the devil's solution. Absolutely. Michelle says both sides are awful, but at least Republicans do not pander to black folks like the Democrats. Exactly. The Democrats pander for our vote and they don't, do anything in return. The Republicans are like, if y'all do, you do. If you don't, you don't. So absolutely. Jason says, don't let Babylon make you kill your brother. Okay. Top Secret says, what are you going to get by not voting? The same thing we getting for voting? Nothing. Just chilling. No, I'm just playing. Brother man came to mind for Martin. No, but for real, the same thing we getting for voting. At this point, nothing. And I'm not being funny. That like for real. And let me skip down for the sake of time. Keith says, look, vote and adopt immigrant family and keep it crispy. What? Jason says, I worry Trump is paving the way for the Antichrist. You think it's Trump that's doing that? Because I'm trying to, remember all that I know about the Antichrist. And it seems like what's in the White House now is paving the way for the Antichrist. If you know anything about that, like how it works, right? I mean, think about what you said. Do you really think it's Trump, or do you think it could potentially be the person that's in the White House already? Especially thinking about what's going on in the Middle East right now. So who's would be more of an Antichrist? I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm just asking questions. All right. Let's see. Van says Trump had 4 years to give blacks reparations, but did not. So miss me with that. Yeah, we know. Well, again, Trump, y'all got to remember too, Trump was also a Democrat up until recently, but Trump is now part of a party who's never said they was trying to give us reparations. Matter of fact, there's some Republicans talking about if states give, they want to put on the, make it a law that if states do give reparations, then they're no longer going to be able to qualify for federal funding. So the Republicans ain't never talking about giving us no reparations. Never. They're not. But it's the Democrats that, well, we're going to study it. We're going to think about it. We're going to pray about it. It's the Democrats that's doing that. The Republicans have never made it a secret that they don't want us to have it. So we know that. But why continue to vote for somebody who ain't doing nothing for you? I mean, voting for the Democrats is like voting for the Republicans. Neither party are doing nothing for Black people. But as Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Claude Anderson, and everybody in between, do for self. Up you mighty nation. Accomplish what you will. Practice group economics. You know, let's save ourselves. We hanging our hat on the savior in the White House that ain't trying to save us. When are we going to get that? See, when we start understanding that, okay, there ain't nobody in there going to do nothing for us. We need to do for ourselves. Then things start to get a little bit easier. And then I believe we would get reparations when they start to see that we don't care. Democrats, y'all need us, but we're not going to show up for you. We're going to get our stuff together like everybody else does. And, you know, we vote when we get around to it, we'll do it. But if not, we still got our stuff going on. You know what I mean? Michelle says, Kennedy is a Kennedy at the end of the day. I would never vote for a Democrat, let alone a Kennedy. Yeah, you know, a lot of people, you know, say the Kennedys, you know, they Black people really loved John F. Kennedy and all of that. In fact, John F. Kennedy won by the skin of his teeth due to Black people, you know, putting him in office. But he was in on the fix as well. He wasn't really trying to help Black people either. He made us think that, right? Man, you talk about too much information. You talk about Brother GP there. I don't know. I was trying to, you know, get the best advice I could. Jay says, meet a mate in church. I ain't gonna say nothing about church. The women in church, they're lovely women. Lovely women in church. Awesome. You might have a good, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's the equivalent of going to the strip club. I mean, it's the same thing sometimes at the church. I probably got myself in trouble with that, but I just, trust me, I've had some experiences with some women in the church who's the, you know, they the pillar of the community, all up in the church. They got women's groups and all these other things going on. Turn around and screw your man. I'm just saying. Andrew says, I'm lying, but if the lady won't give it up in 30 minutes, she won't ever, I mean, what is she giving up though? Because if she having a one night stand with you, how many other one nights get it 7 days of the week now? How many other one night stands did she have before she got to you? You know, she might just be extra, you know, she hopping on a man on the first date. As a man, I don't know, if I was a man, I'd be scared of that. Like, damn, you ain't gonna make me wish for it. Guess about it, use my imagination, none of that. You know, the woman is slurping down her wine real quick. Let's go back to your place. You know, that's kind of scary. I don't know. Buckhorse says, dry bones, them bones. Okay. Jason says, who here thinks that that's not Biden, doesn't even look like him? Are you talking about, is he a clone or something like that? I don't know. Denise says they're doing a fish fry in North Carolina. What they did to the chicken in the movie. Right. They cloned Tyrone. Check out the movie. I've seen it. It's an excellent, excellent movie. It really is. Kermit says, heck, where was the Bible and God during slavery and Jim Crow? Good Lord. Well, you know it was there, but they turned past the part where it said an eye for an eye. You know, they glossed all over that. They told them, you just follow Master. Do what Master tell you. Take this butt kicking while you're here. Then when you get to heaven, you're going to be washed white as snow. Just wait for it. Ain't no heaven on earth for you, just for us. When you get to heaven, you're going to be walking on streets of gold and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to take that chance because ain't nobody ever really been there to tell if this is true or not. You know what I mean? I want my heaven now. Then that's what we should be. Jason says, even if we do not all agree, this talk can heal and give hope. Yeah, that's what we're here for. We want to, bounce ideas off of each other. Absolutely. And Nora says, we're on code and got more done when we didn't even have the right to vote. Most HBCUs were built without voting. Yeah, because all we had is each other. Now we got all this other stuff that's noise, that's in the way. You know what I mean? And Stan, how you doing? Says, these folks ain't good for us, no matter who or what party. We really have to get on code and speak with our economical power. Rather, it says we need our own lobbyists with our own agenda and hold them accountable. Yep, it's really that simple. But we feel like we need to have a sense of belonging to other people's stuff. Michelle, you says Beyonce will be twerking for Biden vote next year. Shameful. I hope not. Andrew says that's what Malcolm X said long ago. Okay. Denise says, like the Billy Preston song, nothing from nothing leaves nothing or means nothing. However that went. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Andrew, Satan is the author of all confusion. That's what they say, right? And Jason says, Kay, check it out. Solomon received 666 talents from the nations. He was a builder. Okay. Say Trump was a builder too. Got you. Yeah, but I'm saying the other stuff that I know about the Antichrist and all the things that's supposed to be happening is kind of happening now. So I don't know, is Trump gonna? I actually at one point thought, well, is Trump the Antichrist? But then I was like, nah, he ain't really smart enough to be the Antichrist. I don't think he is. Because the Antichrist is supposed to be very cunning, right? And devious. Like he's supposed to be, the devil himself, right? I don't think Trump is that. I think Trump is an act. That's what I think he is more than anything. All right, so I'm going to skip down because I am running over 2 hours. Let's see. Mr. Deshaun, how you doing? Says, sorry, but we aren't getting reparations. Not so long as we continue to vote blue no matter who. Why do something for people you can neglect and abuse and they still support you? I totally agree with you. I totally 100% agree with you. And we're not going to get it until we get ourselves together. Panther Strike, thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. He says, Clean Dimitri, if there are folks in this forum questioning how voting works, they are playing dumb or they are Dixiecrat shills. Quid pro quo, no tangibles, no vote. Yeah, and I always say this too. I think that some people shouldn't be allowed to vote. Like if you don't really know what you're doing up in there, I don't think you should go in there and mess up the rotation for the rest of us. I think you should have to sit it out until you learn the basics, right? Like at least who you voting for. If you go in there and I'm gonna vote all down ballot because somebody told you to do it, then you probably should, read the ballot a little bit to see what some of what these people talking about. But blue. Oh, they're a Democrat. Okay, I'm vote. Come on. Let's be smarter than that. But once again, thank you so much for the donation. Jason says, yeah, church is not the church we knew. Yeah, no, definitely not. Hey, honeydew, how you doing? He says, hey, gorgeous D. There got to be some lovely women at church. There's some. There's some lovely women. There are. I just know some women who they up in there. I think they are the Antichrist, or they the wife of the Antichrist. They up in there playing church. But like for real, I kid you not, I had a very churchly woman. I don't know if churchly is a good word name. She did all she could to get my man. Now, of course, it wasn't just on her, but she knew he had somebody. And she did everything she could to throw it at him. And, he took the bait. And this woman got a whole women's group and, these organizations, it's probably a money grift more than anything. But, she was romping and stomping for the Lord. And then she was rolling around in the bed with my man. That's a true story. I'm not kidding. So I kind of, when I hear people say that, I'm like, oh, okay. MC Fact, how you doing? Says I'm late am I late? We about to get out of here in probably about 2 minutes or so when I get to the bottom of these comments, but we'll be back tomorrow with Walter. Y'all know that's always a riot. MC Fact, I know you like Walter be cussing too much, and I'll get on him for that and make sure he rinses his mouth out with soap. Jason says, as soon as Malcolm came back from Mecca, oh yeah, he says they took him out. But we know who this they are by now, right? We're well aware of that, who this they are, which that they have always been the same ones that, take out everybody else. Andrew says, funny how little blacks talk about China's influence. Watch 2019 Renam University speech, Dong Xin. China said how they bought 2020 for Joe. Okay. All things are possible. Van says, Demetra, as a heterosexual black, strongly believe that the best remedy for racism is to get reparations is for black women to marry white men. Oh, no. You had me all the way up into that last point right there. I just could never. I could never. And when I say never, I mean ever. I would be, y'all remember the scene in Gone with the Wind? Scarlett O'Hara, she's starving, right? She's hungry. And she goes out to the dry dirt and she's looking for potatoes, and the potatoes are all hard and frozen and stuff. That would be me before I go marry a white man. I would be digging in the dirt for cold, frozen potatoes. I would be. And Nora says, thank God for the black media. You are so needed. Yes, black media is needed because we are waking people up. It's not always an easy job, but somebody have to do it. And thank y'all too, because what we learn from you guys, we don't know everything. I learned a lot of stuff from y'all, so we are needed. The people who are wanting to wake up, because waking up is a process. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm awake now. You got to always be waking up, like every day, right? You go to sleep at night, and then if the good Lord wakes you up, you wake up, right? It's an ongoing process. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna stay awake. I wake up today and I'm gonna wake for the rest of my life, right? Your eyes are this doggone big. You gotta, it's a continuous thing. Okay, keep waking up. Keep waking up means you keep evolving, right? You keep learning, you keep inculcating the information, you keep absorbing knowledge, because that's how we grow, right? If we stay stuck where we are, then we can't teach. We can't lead. We're stuck where we were, which is the problem with a lot of our black leadership. They're stuck in 1950, 1960s. They stuck. It's like when we 2023 and you don't know nothing else to kind of progress things along. Or back in my day, back in your day, they had a horse and buggy too. Now we riding around, not me, but other people riding around in Teslas. So, things are changing. Hey, Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? And Bernita, how you doing? You say, or she wore chucks and pearls. Yeah, then what happened to all the women and some men that were fashionably involved? What happened to them? They was running around talking about chucks and pearls. They had the chucks and pearls on. And, they were strong, all that, and homage. And then even I think Converse even made a commemorative, Chuck Taylor for Kamala. Where they at? Are they still running around in the chucks and pearls, or did they put them back in the closet? Everybody's running around their grandmama's pearls and stuff, and they know damn well she didn't let you give you permission to wear her pearls, but you run around in her chuck in her pearls for Kamala, who ain't did nothing for black people. It's crazy. Facts Not Feeling says only a fool vote blue no matter who. Yep. Jason says I will sub. Thank you for the kind talk. Stay safe. Oh, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Y'all think I'm playing? It's the truth. I'm not lying. I'm for real. That happened to me. There's a true story. True story. Panther Strike says, wow, can you say it, Demetra, Queen Demetra? She was skanky. Yeah, she was skanky, stanky. I'm like, you were attracted to that? Ew. And I'm not even hating because she did that. Like, for real, if I showed y'all a picture, y'all be like, and I don't even really liking to do that. Like, oh, talk about people's looks. But I'm like, man. And I didn't do anything to the guy. He'll tell you, I'm a wonderful person. Just, she she was more influential, I guess. But that's a true story. I kid you not. Andrew says, hi, you shouldn't have flown over that 2019 speech by China. Okay. And the love, Liti, how you doing? And Van says, yeah, Carmen, I would be digging in the dirt for potatoes. And Pamela say, you too. And Van says, but white men love you all, do they? They have all the power in America. And wherever they are, the majority, if they loved us, then why there's so many single black women running around here to need help? If they really loved us, right? Why were these good white men at where we need them? I don't know. I think they in love with the idea of black women. They don't love black women. That's why when I hear a lot of these sisters run around, get you something new. Get you a white man. And they be like, they be taking you up out of here too. So stop it. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be sitting at their mama and them a table on Christmas and y'all talking about stuff. They gonna be like, if you don't get, Sapphire up out of here, don't ever bring her here no more. It's delusion. It's just complete delusion to think that man is better for you than your man. There's a lot of white women that be like, yeah, he ain't, ish to us either. But somehow he gonna be everything to you. Now I know there's some occasions where, white men, they, treat black women good. I'm not saying there's not, but it's definitely madness to think that another man that don't know nothing about you gonna treat you better than the man that's made for you. Black men are made for black women. Black women are made for black men. It's just really that simple. And I know a lot of people trying to redefine it, girl, get you something new. I've had some people say that to me. I'm like, I don't think so. First of all, my daddy would take me up out of here. Okay. He is not having it. And I'm not attracted to that. No shade to them. I'm just not attracted to them at all. They don't do nothing for me. Never even thought about, being with one. Again, it's not a slight to them. I like brothers. Yes, I do. In fact, my daughter tells me, she says, Mom, I was at the store today and I saw some food and stuff. I was like, man, if I had a man, I would be making him this, I'm making that. She says, there you go again. You are just boy happy. I said, I am. She said, you always talk about cooking for a man and all this other stuff. I said, that's who I am by nature. I like cooking for my man and all that other stuff, So, it's another conversation for another day. But anyway, Carmen says you heard about the tennis ball and the water hole. Loosely, I don't even know what that mean all like that. Facts Not Feeling says if white men love black women so much, they would marry black women more than they marry white women. Yeah. Andrew says, he said, you a white man and there was a black lady I liked a lot. So you liked her a lot, but you gonna take her home? You're gonna take her home to your family and be honest, we're open here. Are they gonna receive her with open arms? Because I know a lot of times people say, oh yeah, my family's cool and all that, but I get it. They want y'all to marry people that look like y'all. So, and you also say I asked a white woman why she liked black men. She didn't have a good answer until I asked her if her dad was racist. Oh, and you know what that answer to that was, right? And the lovely T got you. You say, I love black. Yeah, absolutely. Black men. Me too. Buckhorse, she says you love black queens. You better believe it. Pamela says, say it again, sister. Black man 100. NC Facts says, Demetri, can you share some of your recipes sometimes? You know what? I keep saying I'm going to do that. I will. Unfortunately for me, I'm not really a recipe type of person. I'm just a put that together and it kind of works out. But the next time I make something, I'm going to take note of what I'm doing. And yes, I will share it with you. But in the meantime, I'm going to get out of here so y'all can hear my voices. Because usually if Donna was here, I shared the link and I wouldn't talk so much. But I've been doing all the talking for over 2 hours straight. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Be back here tomorrow with Walter. I don't know if Donovan will be here again. He's having internet issues, but we'll definitely be here. A spirited conversation. We try to talk about money and everything that's trending. But come back. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, there's ways to help the channel if you guys would. I'd love and appreciate you for that. And in the meantime, gotta go. Peace.